my headset in. Hold on. Say that again. I'm gonna call your desk. Okay, I'll call you right back. Okay, thanks. Bye. Hey, how you been? I'm doing well, thank you. I was surprised to hear that you came back. I thought you were going back to Italy for whatever, and you were coming back. Well, good for you. Right. Good. It's gotta be cheaper than living in Santa Clara, right? Oh yeah, I guess the coal. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I guess you got. Yes, you got the. It's not, I don't know. It does get sometimes cold and snowy and stuff, but you know what? It's only like what, maybe February and January. The rest of it. Do you just not like the cold weather at all, or you just don't like the snow? Yeah, well, a little snow, right? But when it gets to be 2 feet of snow, that's a lot of snow, right? So I'm in Maryland, so I'll tell you, I'll give you a call, because usually we get hit with the nor'easters before Boston does. So they come here first, and then they come up the coast. So I'll let you know how much snow's coming outside. I live west of Baltimore, like northwest, about 40 miles. Oh yeah, so Karthik lives in downtown, like down around Phillips. He's about 35 miles south of where he lives. But usually when the nor'easters develop, I live so far away from Baltimore. So we get 3 feet of snow in Boston, we get 8 feet. This winter, I'll call you. Hey Massimo, guess how much snow's coming? Yeah, that's kind of like, these are called, who would, 2-3 years ago? He got hit with oh no, was it Laurent? When he was there, he didn't buy a shovel, and they got the nor'easter that had like drops like 3 feet, and he couldn't even shovel his driveway because he didn't even have a shovel to shovel the snow. So he got like a meter of snow. I think it was Laurent. Like 3 or 4 years ago. Well, you know, you don't have to drive it. Do you work from home or you go into the office? Well, you're in the office all the time. You work from home or you go in the office all the time? Right. So if it's just nasty and stuff, you can stay home for a couple of days. So where did you and your wife, where did you guys stay? Are you like in Boston or you're outside by Burlington, or where you at? Okay. Office? Okay. Oh, okay. I understand. So are you working for Andre, or are you working for Joe? Or? Oh, you're sewing for John, but you're on the East Coast. Oh, okay. Oh, because Andrew's still in charge of you, but Andre's still in charge of you. But yeah, I worked for Andre for 5 years or so. It could be a little overbearing, but it's still the same age. You got John between you and Andre, so it's a good thing. Because he can be a little squirrely at times. Oh, I thought, yeah, for some reason I thought you came back as like under Rosie or somebody like that. I didn't know you were still in the challenge group. So that's good. Oh, good for you. I'm glad you came back. All right, so you want to talk about this? So this SBSFU in Philadelphia. So I assume, so we did this training. I worked with Frederick and Akeem back in, I don't know when it was, March, April, and I sent you the slides. Have you had a chance to look at any of them? So, all right, so what we did was, originally it was going to be a whole half a day, 4 hours from 8 to 12. And what we did was, about 2 weeks before, because, so at the last minute they put the PMEs sat in with the FAEs. So originally there was a lot of content we did to kind of go down and really explain things. But then when we found out that the PMEs were going to be there, we're like, oh shit, this is like way too deep for them. So what we did, we cut it back, and we actually just did like an overview of some of these, and that's what I started to put these together last week. And what I'll do is, I'll do that and I'll send them to you. I wanted to get your feelings on an outline, and then tomorrow or Thursday, I'll send you like kind of what we did in Naples. So basically what we did was, we did an overview of the SFU architect, the enclave, and the secure boot, and then the secure firmware update. We kind of got a little bit into the IAR about how the structure was. We talked a little bit about the pound of fines and taking away all the, the write protection, read protection, so you could debug. And we did that in about 45 minutes. But then what we did was we focused only on the actual demo, which was like chapter 5 and 6 of the user manual, which then comes to be like the step-by-step execution. Section 3.32 and 4.1. So if you look at those 5, like those, so then right, so if you look at 3.2, 3_2X. Right, so we did a little, so we pulled out a few of the slides on each of those, and like I said, on the first 3 sections, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, we cut those down and we did it in about a half hour, 45 minutes. Frederick did, because that's what we did, and then we spent about an hour and a half on 3.2, and then what we also did, so then they had to have an overlay of an overview of what we did, and like I said, how to configure it, what to do, and then I guess what. We then just ran through the whole downloading it, running it, installing application A, we installed application B, and then we did like 1 or 2 of the failures. Like we changed the checksum, we changed the data failure, and saw how the recovery was. So what I wanted to get from you was, so you did this 2 years ago now in Santa Clara, right? It was 2 falls ago? Right, and I was part of that a little bit. All right, so what do you think? So based on that, so I have my opinion of what we should do. I kind of got to get your feeling on what it is, how deep you think, because we only got 2.5 hours for this Philadelphia thing, right? It's 2.5. So what do you think we should do? So that's all I want to hear from you. Go ahead and right. Right. let me stop. Let me. No, it's a hands-on. But in your lab, going back to Santa Clara, because I was there for part of it, we did a PC ROP reprotect, a firewall, and then the SBSFU lab, right? So we're just talking about doing this time just the SBSFU, and we're not going to, the reprotection and PCROP, we'll kind of do that as a slide thing. Maybe we do that afterwards, or so. I'm trying to get a feel for foundation-wise, right? Like, what do you? I mean, how deep do you think we need to go architecture? And hands-on, I would like it to be about an hour and a half, and then maybe an hour of PPTs, or maybe it's different. I don't know. That's kind of what I'm trying to get a feel for. What do you think, based on what you did that day under that meeting? Right. It's very deep, yeah, very complex, I agree. Yeah, because we actually, well, let's put it this way. Okay, so this leads up to the other question. If I had to do it all again with the PMEs who didn't know IAR, I would minimize the IAR content, meaning that I would try to make this, and I did this before for 2 customers, a single install binary to get the code in, so we don't worry about, quote, the IAR tool, and that's kind of what I'm thinking. And we load a binary in and we focus on the functionality of it. Is kind of what I was thinking about this approach. Of that 2 hours, the first half hour, 45 minutes, is like an IAR, how to use it, because the PMEs didn't know how to use it. Right. So looking at the linker files and building the 3 files and downloading each one individually, you know, building the core bin, then downloading this SB, and then putting the application on there. That is not where we wanted to focus the time. Frederick and I, we wanted to focus the time on the functionality of what we were actually doing. So, and then we could like intermix it with, quote, the SB, like you said, the architecture and stuff as to what we're doing. And that's kind of, so it's a different approach than what we normally do, because we spend a lot of time with IAR. And I don't know if you've been privileged, I just went through the motor control workshop with Jeff. I did that 3-4 times with him, where I was a proctor. And what Jeff and I were talking about was if we could bypass the IDE, because we wanted to get into the functionality of the tools, meaning how to use the workbench, because you cannot explain this in an hour for these guys to figure out how to use it, but you can explain the functionality, and that's kind of where I was thinking about taking a different approach with this hands-on one, even only 2.5 hours. You know what I mean? Like, just download it with ST-Link utility and functionality interlaced with PPTs or something like that. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Right? Because right, the application, and so way back when for what was it? It was EchoStar about 3 months ago. So I do this. So I do the demo portion of the SBSFU for customers. I've done it probably a dozen times so far. You know, I send them the code and we have a WebEx, and we just go through the step-by-step of how to do the SBSFU. And the IAR, you know, those guys know how to do it. But then we actually just skip that and just use it as a loader, basically. And then we spend most of the call, 2 hours, on the functionality of the SBSFU. Because that's what they want to know about, right? because in your own time you can figure. So I combined all three of them, and I used a tool where I took the hex file and the bins and the application and created a linear map of it, and then just installed it using ST-Link utility. And then once I put that on there, then it was like, or actually maybe we started out where we put the SVSFU and we start with quote the application install. That's probably a better way to do it anyway. Put the first application and the convert application read on there. That's what we do. Like we start with that, to do something like that. So you think that that's it? Because what I'll do is then, I was going to tell Sean that, because I haven't talked to Sean about it. I told Sean I had a new idea how I wanted to handle, quote, this workshop, because we spend so much time on tool problems, installation problems. Let's keep it to a, like a Terra term, an ST-Link utility with a bin install, and then focus on really the application, what we're trying to get across to you guys, what to do. That's kind of how my approach was, right? So, all right, so, go ahead. Right. So, actually, before we created these slides, believe it or not, I sent Frederick your hands-on workshop from Santa Clara 2 years ago. That's what we used as a basis for this back in February, March when we started doing this, right? But back then, we actually were thinking about, we were going to do an example, I've done 2 DISTI trainings. We had this expert. I had 75 engineers from Avnet Arrow Future that did it in November, and I did it for Avnet in February, where I took you guys and just did a firewall peak out, and that was 4 hours. Right? And I agree with you, that is too much crap. It's like a fire hose, right? There's no way in this, right? That's what the feedback was from all of those DISTI guys. It's too much information in too short a period of time to have any understanding of it. So that's why if we focus in 2 hours on the application, if I had all day, yes, maybe we go back and do what you know what I mean, like the architecture, the protections and all that. But, that's kind of it. How about, so how much time, so Andre, so John, how much time do you plan, to help me, so Sean, this is one of my things I have to do for the second half, right? One of my MBOs for my security. So I can spend as much time as well as supporting. How much time do you have to support me on this? So what was your idea? You're going to come down and you can help me make the slides and stuff too, or what is it you want to do? Sure. Okay. 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 After the training. Okay. Okay, so are you planning on using this any other time, or am I just, because I'm going to plan on using this again in November. I have two 2-hour sessions that we're going to, so I don't know if you know last year, what we did last November, Boone. So the DISTIs are getting a kickback with by becoming ST experts in so it's a couple different fields, right? So security, so last year I did 3, 4, 5 2-hour trainings of 15 people each time, disty guys, on security, right? So we're doing it again in November, October of this year. However, I have to do 2 4-hour trainings of 25 people. And so the way I was going to do it was the first 2 hours was going to be just a security overview, right, of basic security. And then the second part was going to be this training session that we did for this. So my plan was to reuse what we do this in November so I don't have to do it twice. So if I have to do that, I have to plan. I didn't know if you wanted to do anything, if John expected, did you want any SD Safe in this at all? Did you want any of the secure boot that Maurizio and Nag and you, I guess, are working on, right, for the ST Safe portion of it as well? So do you have any ideas of that? Understand. Right, that's exactly, so, right, there's nothing, and if we're going to do the ST Safe, so what the participation I was expecting, you asked me, if we add ST Safe to this, I'd expect you to add that portion of it if that's what you guys want to do for your time, you know what I mean? Okay. I'll do the other stuff. I'll give you an outline of this, strip it down. Before I start doing it, you and we'll just talk about, like we're doing now, what we want to do, what makes sense. And then I'll do the majority of that work. If you want to add ST Safe and SBSFU, then I'd expect you to add whatever slide portion of that would be. And if we hands-on, we can't do it because we're not going to give away. I mean, we could do the piggyback boards, I mean, for the ST Safe, but I don't think you guys want to do that, you know. So, yeah. Just keep it. Okay. And it's a pain in the ass. No, you're a marked PDF, yeah, you're not. So that's why. So you check, if you could check with John and that and see, and I'm thinking maybe it's 15 minutes, 20, I don't know, whatever you think is, we got 2.5 hours, whatever you, it's like 50, we could do that if that's something we want to promote. Because the other thing that was coming into this with Sean, so we're not going to do this for the September one, or when is it, September 26th? But the G0, G4, H7, you know, with the hidden memory SBSFU, Frederick, you know, they're working on. So in November, I was going to expand it maybe and get into like